Hello everyone, welcome to Lost in the Reel. Today I'm going to be going over the new coming-of-age drama, Here Are the Young Men. Now going into this movie, I looked at the plot and thought I was in store for something like The Perks of Being a Wallflower or Skins. And what I actually got was something along the lines of Requiem for a Dream meets Trainspotting. So fasten your seatbelts. Young Men will be available for you to stream wherever you rent your movies, April 27th in the US and April 30th in the UK. And thank you so much to Welgo USA Entertainment for giving me an early screener so I could review this for you guys. The film is written and directed by Eoin Macken, based upon the book by Rob Doyle. It stars Anya Taylor-Joy, Dean Charles Chapman, Finn Cole, and Ferdia Walsh-Peelo. Three Dublin teenagers leave school behind to a social vacuum of drinking and drugs, falling into shocking acts of transgression. Here Are the Young Men starts innocently enough. We realize from the get-go that this is going to be a drug-fueled rager of a coming-of-age tale, as our three young men vandalize their teacher's car as a big ol' F you to the life that they're leaving behind, and then immediately go to a rave, pop some pills, and party into the night. So you could forgive me when I was completely taken by surprise when this film takes a darkly sinister turn. The film takes place in early 2000s Dublin as we follow alpha male Kearney, played by Peaky Blinders' Finn Cole, sensitive Matthew, played by 1917 and Game of Thrones' Dean Charles Chapman, and depressive Rez, played by Sing Street's Ferdia Walsh-Peelo. With not a care in the world and their adult lives just getting started, the trio set off to have the summer of a lifetime. But when a horrible tragedy occurs right before their eyes, they each go down a different dark path that will ultimately determine who they become. As the film progressed, I continued to become more and more frustrated with how all over the place it felt. And to be honest, this film is a total mess. But it almost works in the film's favor by the end, because at this age, we're all a mess. We're all trying to figure out who we are and what paths we're gonna take in life. And because we are experiencing this film through the lens of these out-of-control young men, the manic, aggressive, and kinetic state of this final product actually feels like it's meant to be. The up-and-coming young cast bring this film to life. The boys feel completely authentic, exuding the nihilism, angst, and hubris that so many young men find themselves defined by. Ferdia Walsh-Peelo, who was the breakout star of the film Sing Street, and who's also in the amazing upcoming movie Coda, unfortunately gets shafted to the sidelines here, as the film starts concentrating more on Matthew's relationships with Kearney and his girlfriend Jen, played by Anya Taylor-Joy. And Joy absolutely elevates her material here, as she always does. She really brings a much-needed groundedness and depth to the whole affair. And I also must add that the soundtrack for Here Are the Young Men is absolutely amazing, with the likes of the Chemical Brothers and Joy Division, among many others, bringing even more energy to the film. As I said at the beginning of my review, this film reminds me so much of Requiem for a Dream and Trainspotting, though I do have my doubts that this film will leave as much of an impact as those classics. Here Are the Young Men is in your face depravity. It plunges you down a deep dark hole that during much of its runtime I wanted to crawl out of and escape from at all costs. It deals with heavy drug abuse, rape, suicide, and senseless murder, to tick off a few boxes. And even though director Macken does bring his own unique style to the film, with his haunting imagery just seeping with surrealism, I do feel like a director with a more sure hand should have tackled this provocative material. I'm really happy that I waited and took some time to review Here Are the Young Men, because after I initially finished it, I kind of hated it. But I've let it soak in, and I've found that I have not been able to shake it. It is a film that, although light on plot, has a lot to say about toxic masculinity and almost becomes a critique on our society and how we've allowed our young people to become this way. It is one wild ride, and if you think you can handle it, it is worth the journey. So I will be giving Here Are the Young Men 3.5 bottles of rat poison out of 5. This is an aggressive, abrasive, and in-your-face morality tale that, although doesn't necessarily deal with its material in the most successful of ways, is nonetheless a sensory overload experience that will almost certainly stick with you. Thank you so much everyone for watching Lost in the Reel. We will see you soon.